everybody, it's your mad mother of the internet, and I hope that cabin fever hasn't got you watching the paint peel. That's right, it's another update to the shelter in place, as we are all still having to, well, shelter in place. There is a subscribe button for you newbies. If you don't want to turn it any other color than red at present moment, then hold it, because I will be reminding you by the end of the video to do the same thing. If you have been to the community tab and you have looked at the title of this video and you don't see your state anywhere for an update, you can post a request on the community tab, you can DM me on Twitter, on Instagram, or email me your request, and I will be more than happy to schedule it in. As these updates get smaller and smaller with the information included within these updates, they will soon be relegated to either short blurbs on the blog, Twitter or Instagram updates, or updates on the community tab. So please keep your eye on all of those places if you're following me on any of those. That being said, the only really major update is going to be Southern California, Los Angeles County, to be more specific. So let's go ahead and get into the video, shall we? Florida, here's your population and your current coronavirus numbers. That's right, I'm not really calling it the Han Flu Shuffle as much as I used to, but please be leery of those numbers and pay particular attention. Your order became effective April 3rd and it expires April 30th. Violating any aspect of this order is a second-degree misdemeanor, which is a $500 fine and a chance of jail time for up to 60 days. So please be aware of that. All seniors and people living in the high-risk groups, you can find the high-risk groups at this website here, are to stay home and practice all precautions to limit exposure. Essential services are as follows. If the screen cap looks familiar, you can find it here. You can also check them out here. There is an FAQ in the description as well. DeSantis is allowing travel for essential activities, and those activities include religious services of all denominations. Walking, biking, hiking, fishing, hunting, running, swimming, taking care of pets, caring for or assisting a loved one or friends, grocery or medical supply runs. Medical supplies also includes medications, obviously. Churches, synagogues, and other religious places can conduct service only if they follow CDC guidelines. I will be posting those in the description. Restaurants are still limited to carry out, pickup, and delivery only. People entering Florida from New York, New Jersey, New Orleans, and Connecticut are subject to a 14-day quarantine, the only exemptions being airline employees, military, health, and emergency personnel. Checkpoints have been established, so be on the lookout for that if you're driving into Florida from out of Florida. Tribal lands in the state are responsible for their own responses to the corona outbreak. A history of all orders implemented is in the description. There is a whole slew that includes a history for Miami-Dade as well, so please be aware of that. Iowa, your numbers. Your order became effective the 7th of April. It expires the 30th of April. The following businesses will be closed to slow the spread of the virus: malls, social and fraternal clubs, bingo halls, bowling alleys, pool halls, arcades, amusement parks, libraries, museums, zoos, skating rinks and parks, tobacco and vaping stores, racetracks, toy gaming instrument shops, music and movie stores, campgrounds. Notice how they put an emphasis on toy gaming and instrument shops. So please be aware and call around if you are a hobbyist to see if your hobby shop is still open. Okay, because they don't have that on the list. And if I didn't state it before, campgrounds are also closed. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Mayor is still enforcing social distancing, saying that local government has no power to implement a shelter-in-place order. Law enforcement is doing regular patrols to make sure there are no groups of people in public in excess of 10 people in Cedar Rapids, and also in that city they are continuing to investigate any calls regarding violations of the original order, so be on the lookout for that. State officials are continuing to look into alternative options to avoid a statewide shelter in place for Iowa. The reasons they're including are there is a lack of a consensus regarding how the outbreak should be managed, the differences in between individual communities like municipalities, towns, so on and so forth, not seeing a need as long as it is safe, and no differences in the policies already in place. I got nothing. Iowa has no travel restrictions as of the date of this upload. Kansas, here are your numbers. Your order is now effective March 30th to April 19th. Nothing significant has been added to your shelter in place except for the following travel restrictions. So if you're driving anywhere or flying anywhere, be leery. Anyone coming home from recently visiting Connecticut, Louisiana, Colorado, California, Florida, New York, Washington, Illinois, and New Jersey must self-quarantine at home for 14 days. Please be aware of that. SoCal, Southern California, yay! Here are the numbers. Effective April 10th to May 15th. All public and private gatherings are banned regardless of the number of people. Essential businesses open must abide by social distancing protocols with the exception of healthcare workers. Obviously, they're healthcare workers. They can't stand 6 feet away from you and still treat you. Duh. Guidelines for these businesses are as follows. It must limit the number of persons in a facility and must maintain a 6-foot distance. Businesses where lines form must have 6-foot increments marked clearly showing where people should be standing. Facilities must provide hand sanitizer, soap and water, or an effective disinfectant at or near the entrance of the location. Restrooms are to remain open. Facilities are to clearly state that no one may enter if they are showing any signs of a respiratory illness such as a cough or a fever. If employees of a facility have to be less than 6 feet close to one another, they must wear cloth face coverings. This includes when dealing with the public. Patrons entering an establishment must wear a face mask inside the establishment. Non-essential businesses which are closed include malls and outdoor shopping centers, indoor-outdoor playgrounds unless it is a child daycare, all public oceanside locations, this includes parking lots close to those locations, beaches, stuff like that, gyms, fitness centers, movie theaters, drive-in movies, live performance theaters, concert halls, arenas and stadiums, public trails and trailheads, bars and nightclubs not serving food, all tasting services in wineries, breweries, and tap rooms are closed. In regards to malls, in case you guys were wondering, if the essential business can be accessed from outside the mall, that essential business can stay open. Otherwise, any and all malls, outdoor strip malls, or outdoor shopping centers are closed to the public. If those essential businesses that can be accessed from the outside of those instances are open and do maintain being open, they have to follow the aforementioned guidelines for social distancing and sanitizing the spaces. Essential activities are considered visiting a healthcare professional, visiting a veterinarian, getting medical supplies, medication, grocery store runs, getting items for an essential business, legally mandated purposes like parole, probation, those custody arrangements, so you're not going to get out of those. Complying with an order of law enforcement, outdoor recreation activities while observing social distancing. As of yet, there are no travel restrictions in or out of the state. There are no quarantine orders for people coming into California or leaving California. And there are no checkpoints entering or leaving the state. So that's your update for those aforementioned states and counties. And that's another update. As I stated before, if you have visited the community tab and you don't see your state listed, you can add your name to the community tab. You can DM me on Twitter or Instagram. If you wish to email me any information you wish to see highlighted in the video as far as your state or municipality is concerned, there is my email. There's also a subscribe button. If it's bright red, I'm not going to give you particular instructions, but you know, if you want to keep up with me, you know what to do. And then there's the bell that's as fickle as a pregnant woman in a grocery store. Don't forget to share this out. Like it if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Continue the conversation in the comments section. As always, all sources for videos like this are in the description, and timestamps for your particular area are in the pinned tweet. Until next time, my friends, be calm, stay informed, be careful, be cautious, wash your hands, keep them away from your face, and I'll see you next time. Love you, my little misfits.